We are now going to complete the planking, and there are 5 planks to put in. And there are 2 ways we can approach this. One is to put them in one at a time, or another way, which is what I have chosen, is to literally put the 5 planks in as we go along. And the reason we can do that is that the distances of these planks are going to vary as we go along. So we're going to use this old chart and the tick strips to help put us in, and that will allow us to actually complete from the bow going all the way to the stern. Not the traditional way we have put planks in the past, but certainly acceptable because we have the breaks from all the gun ports. The first thing we're going to do is, since these are up at the bow, we're going to put in some pre-bend. So I have my little jig, and we're just going to start by clipping them on and putting a general bend in place. The first job we're going to do is to open up these holes so I can correctly size them so that when I start to fit the pieces, I can shape them before putting them on the board. One of the things you may or may not have noticed is I've moved the fordham from its dedicated stand at the back to the workbench. I'm using this old hanging post rather than take it apart, simply because I had it there. It's really very easy to use. You can clearly see the hole now, and we can open that up with a hand file. So now we can stick it. So we're getting our first chance to formally try these pieces out. So this is a little sled we've made up. Put the piece inside, and this is the rough cleanup, and they went in beautifully. And I don't know why I kept referring to 5, it's 4. So we're going to continue now going to the second section down here. So again, the process, just to repeat the process, take the measurement, 554, 597, divide each of these numbers by 4, and that'll give us the width of the plant. So it's tapering up this way, so we'll use the largest measurement and then taper accordingly. As we go along, I'm going to be exploring different techniques. So there's not one written in stone about how we approach this. This one was built from the bottom, and we just came straight up because we had the hawse holes that were really giving us a challenge, and we had to get that right. This one is slightly different, but we have big spacings on either side of the gun ports, where the gun port, the top piece of the gun port strake is wide to accommodate the hinges. I put the bottom piece in first because this was the easiest to do. There was a small angle we had to adjust for the piece, and again we slightly bent it. Now I'm going to go to the top, which is a little more complex, and then the angles are different. So what I've done is I've taken a ruler and drawn the exact angle on the model so that when I go to put the piece in, I can transfer the angle onto the piece and then slowly start to fit it. And I do this before I bend the piece. Now that we've got the two pieces cut properly, we can now bend the piece and then slowly adjust it. I decide which side is the perfect fit. So this side really is the more difficult and perfect fit. And we see the bend here. It still has a little bit bend to go. But I've now marked off, and we're slowly going to start to take this down. We've done multiple adjustments. Just need to take the edge down on the inside here. We're getting a little lift, probably caused by the bending of the piece. There we go. Right. And then pull this in. Well, it's taken us a little while. We have this little piece here that comes down. So we have to fit that and then bend the piece so it fit perfectly. And really very happy with that. So it's really just to put the glue on. It's real tight, nice clean fit. Leaving the glue on because not enough room to work to really clean it up, so it'll just be a little hard work. And then what I'm leaving is the easiest piece to put on is the last piece. These were all the difficult pieces because they all had angles at the ends. Just cleaning up the final piece. And we'll have a final sanding. We'll take that little flat spot out. Now we are going to install strake number 25, and that's slightly different than these pieces here in that it goes from the inside edge or the bottom still of the gun port all the way up until the third to last one. And we also have to take into consideration the 8-inch sweep ports and make sure that we cut everything accurate. And the ideal tool to do that is my old Preac. One of the wonderful things of having these tools on wheels is I can have them stored away. And we keep all the various parts. Lots of blades, sliding tables, all sorts of goodies. The Preac is ideal for this job. It has no fence, a nice big flat surface. So what we're going to do is cut the various slots out that I've marked. I'm leaving a safety margin that these are inside the spaces that need to be cut, but the depth will be correct for all of them, and then we can adjust it on the model as we go along. But what it means is that every cut on this piece will be exactly the same depth. The other thing I do to make sure I get it accurate is I'm cutting these slots in the reverse order because I can see the blade and see the line. So again, you just need to hold it very tight. And then that gives you a nice clean cut. So here are all the pieces cut out, and I wait for it on the model and see how good or bad we did. The clamps are all off now, and that's cleaned up. So now we're going to start back on this side and go up. And the first thing we need to do is the sweep port. So what I've done is I've made a special little jig that's 8 inches square, just as a guide to help me go through. And then I've come on the pre-arc and slowly, I don't know if you can see this, slowly open that hole up. So again, that it's exactly square, and put it on, and you can see now I've got an absolutely square piece. So that's my template, and now I can stick it. We have left the easiest piece to put in. So it's a straight taper, and we've already tapered the piece. So it's just to glue up. Of the next piece, there are 2 sweeper holes. So what I did is follow the same procedure as last time, but I lined up one perfectly and put this block in place, and then set the other one so that I knew as I was adjusting the second one, the first one was in the exact same place. So that's ready to go, and we just need to stick it now. Now we're going to install the first of the 2 fixed blocks. This one is the forward fixed block, which is used on the main tack. Simply, again, on the pre-arc, cutting it very tight, checking it multiple times so that we don't make it too big. It's designed to fit in and out, and so when there's some wear, you can change the sheave. It's nice when you get it nice and tight like that. This one was a little more challenging. We had to slant the pieces down from the top strake. But the double block was fit very nicely in. I suppose at some time we're going to stick these in, and my guess is this will be shaped to follow the shape of the hull, as will this one as well. It's more pronounced in the second one. I had quite a little scale where there was a discrepancy between the plan and the plank layout on the book. The plank layout in the book showed 7 sweeper ports, and of course the real plan showed 8 sweeper ports, this one. So of course I'd stuck it, and I immediately took it apart before it stuck. Sent off a email to Greg. Eventually David responded as well, and it was simply an error in the plant layout that did not show this sweeper port, but it's there in on the plan, and the plan is a key document. The National Maritime Museum plan also shows the 8 sweep ports, so it was a little bit of a panic for nothing. And we're well back on our way. Only 4 slots left to fill. Been going back and forward, and it's taken me well over half an hour to get this fit in perfectly. And some of it is because we need to take down the edge inside here, which is, I'm told, a cheat of the masters. So there we got it, and it's absolutely spot on. These are the little details that the experts will actually pick up. And it's so easy to say, that's good enough. But the truth is, unless these fits are perfect, it's just not good enough. Interesting, as we're coming back up now, and remember we bent the bottom piece. The best solution to these little pieces, because they have a bend, is to put some cardstock and cut the shape, cut the bend into the piece, so you have a straight piece here, and that's what I've done. Strake 28 goes all the way to the back, and because there was a lot of bending, it really, we had to be very careful. And then we had the piece coming down to the second to last gun port. So we made up a piece that's oversized, fit the front edge, and then brought everything back, just making sure that the end piece that we cut out for the gun ports lines up properly. Here we go, the last 2 pieces on the starboard side. Of course, we haven't even started on the port side, but we're not going to film that. That's just going to be a copy of what we've done here. Once this is in, we'll clean up, and you can cast your judgment. And here is the last piece. Quite a journey. Full of age errors. Have nothing to do with modeling. It have to do with the generic age of the builder. we still have quite a few more cleanups to do. But I'm pretty happy with it. Clearly there's some areas where I used thicker planks that need to come down to get a nice clean shape. But that'll happen in time. And then of course we need to clean up all the gun ports and check all the heights and make sure there are no issues. So that's it for now. We're going to bring this video to an end and just remind you to always keep modeling,